Prestige asking, can you guys talk about paint swelling after correction and polishing before applying Bead Maker or a coating? How long should I wait until I apply a product, or do I even need to wait? Well, so here's the deal. You're going to get paint swelling if you generate a massive amount of heat. If you're not generating a massive amount of heat on the surface, you're not having any issues with swelling. If you're not using filler agents, if you're not using things like kerosene or things with heavy solvents in them as your panel steps, you're not going to have those filling issues. With the products we carry here at the Rag Company, you shouldn't have any heavy swelling options, things happening. Basically, if you're pairing it properly with the right pads, the right steps, you're not working a panel to death, meaning you're not spending 4 hours on a panel.
No, it stops being, there's a
The reason
returns.
I do 30 minutes or 20 minutes around a car is because that's all the panel can handle in that time period. I also reduce the amount of swelling that I do on the vehicle. I reduce the amount of work area on that panel. There's nothing wrong buzzing around a car in 20, 30 minutes, like you've seen in our 20-minute one-step.
Perfect example.
And multiplying that, turning that into a 2 or a 3 or a 4-stage multi-step correction. You can do that. And what happens is you run your surface cooler. You're able to keep that panel safer. The other thing you can do is just wait. Compound and polish the car. Let it sit. Let it rest. If you're doing this at home, just let it hang out. If you're in a business, you're going to need to cool that paint down, which means pad washers, which means compressed air, which means, rinsing the car off. Maybe you need to wash the car one more time before you get ready to protect it for a customer. If you're that worried about it.
Yeah.
Back in the days in the use of rotary, that happened a lot.
Sure.
Because rotaries generated a ton of heat. With DAs, even though they can generate more heat, the way we've designed products now, the way the pads are designed, the use of pad washers and compressed air to blow out pads, if you're cleaning your pad every panel, you're not going to have that issue.
No, you're reducing the clogging, you're reducing all the things that contribute to
you're
that.
doing it wrong.
Right, yeah. Well,
watch your technique. Seriously.
One of the biggest things you always talk about, at least we used to bring it up a lot, which was, like you said, the pad cleaning. That's one of the biggest mistakes people make is they don't clean their pads. They just keep going, and then they wonder why it's not as effective.
Or why the pad starts to tear, or why the backing plate starts to tear.
You can do so much more work in the same amount of time if you just regularly keep your pads clean.
Yeah. And if you take the concept of I need 4 pads to do a car.
Yeah.
A one-step car, 4 pads per step, right? So if you're going to do 2-step, you need 8 pads. And you just split it into quadrants.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. And you change your pads halfway through each side. You're not going to ever have that issue. Yeah. You clean them and you swap them, never going to have a problem. If you're using one pad to do the whole car, well, then you're getting there closer. But if you've got a pad washer, you're using compressed air, you're giving yourself a little break time in between half and half, let that pad cool down a bit, you're not going to have so many issues. But at a minimum, 2 pads per step, 4 is better, makes it a lot easier.